I had just left for a 4-day camping trip with my sister and roommate. We were headed 2 hours north of Phoenix to a small town called Sedona. The area is beautiful and attracts tourists from all over the world. They come here for many reasons, but one stands out from the rest. It's a word rarely used on this side of the equator, but in Sedona, the locals would tell you they're here. These vortexes aren't the kind you hear about during hurricane season. They can't be seen or heard. Instead, those who find them would tell you they can only be felt. I was skeptical to say the least, but the sheer number of first-hand accounts left me wondering, would I too encounter one?
My name's Dopey, what's happening? Made it to Sedona. I love y'all like I love Sedona, the way I love life.
You show up here out of nowhere, practically. You come out of the dark.
I came out of the dark into y'all's life, just fucking spitting real shit, dude.
Honest to God.
Out.
Yup. Anchorage area.
Yo, here, you got the light on me.
Yup.
He introduced himself as Dopey, D-O-P-Y. The next morning, he was gone. I thought about this strange character. He was from Alaska, he was alone, and he had been here for weeks. But the most curious thing about him had nothing to do with the way he was, but rather what he had spoken about. On more than one occasion, and unprovoked, Dopey had mentioned the vortexes. More than ever, I was now determined to find one. I wanted to feel what Dopey and so many others were talking about. It wasn't long before we reached what we had come to see. After taking a few pictures on the formation, things took a turn for the worse. Without warning, my drone disconnected from the remote. Reality began to sink in. My favorite piece of camera equipment, and all the footage along with it, was gone. We arrived at the campsite a short while later. My mind was racing. I needed to find out what happened. I went through the flight record and noticed the last known location about a mile from the bridge. It seemed like a long shot. If it was there, it was far off the trail, deep in the woods of an unknown landscape. I had to make a choice. Go now and look for the drone, or give up and go home. With darkness fast approaching, I made the decision to go for it. Driving the trail was much faster than walking, but I couldn't stop worrying about getting caught in the dark alone, on the side of a mountain I knew nothing about. It didn't matter. I was too committed to turn back now. I continued until I reached the ATV parking area. From here, I would walk the remaining distance, off-trail, through the woods. After an hour of bushwhacking, I found myself at the base of a rock wall less than 100 feet away from the GPS location. This was the end. I saw no way up it. Without climbing gear, I could go no further. Giving up was the only sensible option, but I felt compelled to keep pushing. As I continued around the base of the plateau, I realized I had made the right choice. In front of me, I saw a path to the top.
No way. No way. No way.
Despite the odds, I had found it. and knew I could repair the damage myself. When I got back to the trailhead, my motorcycle wouldn't start. I spent an hour trying to figure out what was wrong, but without tools, reception, or sunlight, it was hopeless. I had to leave it behind and walk the remainder of the trail alone, in complete darkness. The next morning, I woke up wondering what would happen. I didn't know what was wrong with my motorcycle, or if I would be able to fix it. The kickstand sensor was dented. Without a replacement, I knew the bike wouldn't start. There was only one thing I could do. With the help of a box cutter, I began cutting the sensor from the bike. Once again, my luck had changed. The bike was running perfectly. I was going to make it off the trail. With the rest of the day ahead of us, I sent a message to Dopey. He had promised to show us a local swimming spot in exchange for beer. It was time to take him up on the offer. After cooling off, Colette and Sam wanted to see the spot where I found the drone. I came to Sedona wondering about vortexes, and suddenly realized I might be in one. By chance, I had ended up here. It seemed like I was meant to find it. Truthfully, I couldn't tell you for certain, but I know one thing. It sure did feel like it.